So I've started to get the reputation on social media as being the guy who likes to list pretty much all of his sports cards just to see what he can get out of them. And every time I make a video showing, hey, these are the cards that I'm buying and these are what I'm, selling them for, a lot of people will reach out because it's like either base or inserts or parallels or cheap numbered. You get the idea. And they're like, hey, I got a bunch of these cards. I've got 1,000 of them. Will you do $500 for 1,000 cards? And I'm like, no, but I'll give you like $250, $300 for 1,000 cards. And they're like, well, they're all worth $1 a piece, or they're all worth $2 a piece. Yeah, that's great. If you want $2 a piece for them, you list them and you get $2 a piece for them. But if you want to send them to me because you don't want to deal with it, then I'll pay you this because this is what makes it worth it for me. And there's two main reasons for that. One, I'm going to buy it for a price that makes sense for me, that I can make good money on it because I'm putting in the effort to list it all. And two, I pay a ton in fees. Fees are just as bad for cheap cards as they are for expensive cards. Everybody gets on eBay and they're like, oh, I sold a $300 card and the buyer paid $325 for it and it only paid out $225 for me after everything was said and done after fees. Yeah, that sucks for expensive cards. It sucks for cheap cards as well. So let me kind of explain the process of what I'm looking for when I buy stuff from somebody. And I've gotten to the point now where there are people who I've bought from before who know exactly what I'm looking for and will be like, hey, I got a 500 card lot, $175, it's all yours. And I'm like, all in, because I know what I'm getting and I know what I can sell it for, and they don't care because they don't have to do the work for it. So here's a good example right here. And I think I put the cards away on it already. But so here is a 500 card lot. Everything in this lot is either chrome or some type of color or some type of rookie parallel, etc. For this 500 card lot, it was a 450 card lot, but I paid $175 for this, and I buy from the same guy like once a month, and he sends me lots like this all the time for the same price. So you got to understand, there's going to be cards in here that if I run this on Whatnot, like this number of cards will sell for $3+ The rest of the row is going to sell for $2, and then maybe half of this row is going to sell for another $2, and then the rest of that, and then maybe half to all of that is going to sell for $1. And then everything in these two rows over here, it's a coin flip. They'll either move or they won't move. So my goal when I buy a lot like this is I want to make my money back on this row. I'm going to profit on this row and part of this row or all of this row. And then everything over here is just bread and butter, icing on the cake. I get what I get for it. And when I tell people that, whenever I'm making them an offer on the cards that they send me, they are like, well, you make a killing on the whole thing if you buy it for it at that. Again, I know I'm going to make a killing on it, but I'm going to make a killing on it because I'm the one putting in the work to move it. If you want to make a killing on it, you put in the work to move it. So I don't really know how to wrap this up. I was going to make this as a TikTok or a reel, as a short form video to kind of explain it. But every time I tried to make the video, it was getting into the 4 to 5 minute range. So I was like, I don't like doing short form videos on that. I'm just going to make a YouTube video on it. So, but you got to understand, like, if you want to try to sell me your $1 to $5 cards and you try to sell them to me in bulk, I'm not going to pay that much for them because I'm going to get eaten alive in fees. So like I said, for the little stack that I make $3 a piece on, like, I'll probably make half my money back on that. I'll make the rest of my money back on the $2 cards, and then I'll make a little bit of profit on the $2 and $1 cards, or the stuff that's for sure going to sell out $1. But then stuff like this right here, Jordan Yamamoto refractor, that might sell for $1, it might not. So if it doesn't sell for $1, I'm gonna have to start lotting cards together. So I'll go a Shamanaya and a Starling Marte refractor 3-card lot. If this sells for $1, I net 58 cents, and then at that point I'm making 20 cents, 20 cents, 20 cents per card. So if I'm in the cards for 30 cents a piece and I'm making 20 cents on these after they sell for $1, I lose 10 cents on these cards. So that's why I'm trying to break even on the good stuff. So then that way, when this sells, when this 3-card lot sells for 20 cents a card, that 20 cents per card is going to be profit instead of me losing 10 cents, if that makes sense. So I get to rambling and I don't explain stuff very well. So if that made sense to you, let me know. And then if not, I'll try to explain it a little bit more, but you get the idea. When you sell me your cards, don't look at the retail price on them. Look at the wholesale price on them. I'm going to buy them at wholesale price. If you want retail price for them, you put in the work to sell them for what you want. Don't reach out to me if you don't want me to pay what I want for them. Follow for more. Subscribe.